Begin by standing with your arm, the length of your arm width away from the wall, and have your arm as straight as you possibly can. You know, sometimes our elbows are slightly bent, and that's okay. But have your fingertips facing away from you, so towards the back. And then you can have your arm not necessarily too high, but a little bit lower than your shoulder. All right, stand with your feet nice and tall, and take a deep inhale right here. As you exhale, begin to turn your head towards the right, and then begin to walk your feet towards the right, allowing that left shoulder to open up and stretch. Inhale, turn your head back to center, and then turn your feet back to center, and release that arm down. All right, I'm coming back to my other wall so that I can stay in the camera, and bring your left arm, same thing. Fingertips are facing behind you, and your fingertips are, when your arm is slightly lower, your hand is slightly lower than your shoulder. Inhale here, facing forward. Exhale, turn your gaze towards the left, and then turn your feet towards the left, stretching out that right shoulder. Inhale, turn your gaze back to center, and then walk your feet back to center and release that arm. Second arm shoulder opener here is called clock pose. So we'll start with our arm reaching up towards the ceiling. And we're going counterclockwise, well, sort of counterclockwise. So with your left arm up towards the top of your clock, bring your hand to what might be 1 o'clock on the clock. And then maybe bring your hand to 2 o'clock on the clock. Can you bring your hand to 3 o'clock on the clock? And how about 4 o'clock on the clock? Can you bring your hand to 5 o'clock on the clock? And then bring your hand to 6 o'clock on the clock. Beautiful. Sweep your arm all the way forward and up again, like you're clocking it all the way around, and bring it down. All right, second side here. So we'll start with your right arm up on the clock, and this time go in the opposite direction. So we bring our hand to 11 o'clock on the clock, and then maybe 10 o'clock on the clock. Bring your hand to 9 o'clock on the clock, and bring your hand to 8 o'clock on the clock. Sliding down, 7 o'clock on the clock, and 6 o'clock on the clock. Then we swing the arm all the way up and around, and bring it down. Wonderful. We can also practice downward facing dog at the wall, and we can start by bringing your hands right where your hip flexors would be. So we're at that particular distance away. Palms are flat onto the wall. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, begin to walk your feet back and extend your arms. Come as far as you can with your arms extended, then shift your hips back by pushing your hands into the wall, striving to get your ears in line with your shoulders. Find your breath. To come out of that, we bend the knees and we walk ourselves back up. And release your arms down. We want to counter that with almost like a back bend. So turn your back to the back of the chair, and this is called camel pose. We're going to get fairly close, enough to have your palms on the wall themselves. Bring your shoulders closer together by drawing your shoulder blades towards each other, and then just step forward, maybe 1 foot forward, pressing your palms into the chair, into the wall. Push your hips forward and lift your chin slightly because your ears are, again, staying right over the shoulders. To come out of that, you bend your knees and shift your hips back towards the wall. Let's come into plank pose at the wall. So again, we're facing the wall. And this time we take the forearms on the wall. Now, your forearms can be lower than your shoulders or shoulder height. So see what feels better for your shoulders as you do this. And then step your feet back. From there, we push the forearms and your hands into the chair. Draw the belly button closer together. Try to keep a nice straight spine and breathe. To come out of this, you begin to bend your knees slightly, walk yourself closer to the wall, and then slide your hands down and away. One last back bend here before we come into relaxation. So again, take your back towards the wall and bring your elbows in towards your side body. From there, we're going to draw your shoulder blades towards each other and try to get your elbows on the wall. From here, just push your hips forward slightly. Find your breath. Exhaling, bend your knees, bring your hips, and relax your arms down.